Hey everyone, there was some crazy drama last night at the Visual Effects Society Awards. Let's talk about it right now on A Cup of Joe. In the description is a full list of all the award winners, so feel free to share this post so everyone can see who won. That was definitely one of the crazier VES awards that I've seen, and I'm going to talk about the drama in just a minute. Dune and Encanto were big winners last night. We're going to talk about them. But let's start off with where it started, and that was with Eric Roth giving a really touching reflection on what a journey it was to get back into the Beverly Hilton for the 20th VES Awards. Last year it was exclusively online, and it was nice to see everybody getting back together. And not only that, but it was on International Women's Day, a day where they could highlight that this is the first year that we have an all-female board of directors on the Visual Effects Society. So it was really a night of touching celebration. There were also some announcements made. One of them was that the VES website is going to be rebranded with the name Global brought into the title and into the domain name, and that's to reflect the more global nature now that the Visual Effects Society has taken on. This is, after all, the 25th year that the Visual Effects Society has been around. Eric also told us that there's going to be now a technical awards ceremony for the Visual Effects Society happening as well starting next year. So I can't wait to hear more about that. And if anyone needs a volunteer for that show, I'm volunteering right now. It should also be noted that AMD sponsored the VES Awards this year, along with other sponsors. And that's really important because a great deal of the movies and TV shows that came out this year were rendered on AMD procs. They've really taken over the industry quite a bit. And a good portion of a lot of studios' farms now are AMD. So good for them for sponsoring VES. They're taking an increasing role in the media entertainment verticals. There was a really touching tribute to two really big losses that we took on this year, and that was the loss of Bill Taylor and Doug Trumbull. And it was nice that they decided not to do a moment of silence, but instead they asked everyone to give them a round of applause, and it was a touching ovation that was one of the first of many times that night that brought a tear to my eye. It was around now that it was handed off to former President Jim Morris, who was in charge of ILM when I started 25 years ago, and was also the very first president of the Visual Effects Society. He now runs Pixar. He spoke, he gave some touching tributes. So now it's time for me to tell you about some of the drama that happened. Jim was the first person to have to deal with it, and Eric had explained to us what had really happened that night. First, Patton Oswalt, who normally is the fanboy of the century and is the perfect host for our Visual Effects Awards, was not able to make it this year because he broke his leg. So they turned it over to Drew Carey, which would have been a real treat, except at the last minute, due to some other personal emergency, Drew Carey could not make it this evening. Furthermore, one of the two Lifetime Award recipients was going to be to Guillermo del Toro, who unfortunately was not able to make it tonight for personal or medical reasons, whatever the reason. So the whole night was now turned upside down. The host wasn't there. The replacement host wasn't there. One of the two recipients of the Lifetime Achievement Award wasn't there. And this left all of the other folks to scramble. To their credit, Jeff Oken and Eric Roth, they pulled it off anyway. You know, this visual effects community is pretty agile and ready to adjust to unforeseen difficulties. So the night continued on, and I think one of the funnier parts was you could catch that many people were reading the teleprompter or reading jokes that were clearly written for Drew Carey, and so you had to watch these visual effects folks try to pull off some of these jokes. It just ended up becoming a real hoot, and everyone just sort of dropped all the facade, and so it was just really heartwarming to see everyone just get out there and make an awesome award show with a whole lot of improvisation. One of the other recipients for the Lifetime Achievement Award was there, and that was Lin Brennan. She started at ILM years ago in the 90s in a technical leadership role and eventually grew to run Lucasfilm in mass. She came under the wings of Chrissy England, Jim Morris, and other leaders. Gail Curry, she called out. Cliff Plumer was one of her mentors, and now she has taken over the Lucasfilm empire. And so much occurred under her tutelage, and now that she works with Kathleen Kennedy and just the generations of great effects and great work that ILM has done under her guidance and with her support. She more than deserved a Lifetime Achievement Award. She gave a very touching speech. She talked about the importance of her family in her career, and contrasted the importance of her family and her career and some of the problems that our families are having over in Ukraine. She brought the narrative in of what was going on today in contrast with the Visual Effects Award in a really sweet way that just kept some context for what was going on that night in the world as we were celebrating. So well done, Lin-Win. You deserved it, and it was a really great speech that we all enjoyed. And then finally, we did see some other big stars that did show up. We had Alfred Molina. He came in, as well as Dennis Villanueva. They each gave out some awards, cracked some jokes. They had to improv and stretch it out a little bit, and with all that chaos, they did a great job. It was pretty funny, and they contrasted their loose style with some of the computer graphics personalities that come on stage and give their thank yous. It is kind of funny sometimes how relaxed we all are inside the Daley's rooms and inside the production offices, but you get these folks on stage and they're pretty overwhelmed. And so it's always sweet to see your friends up on stage just looking completely overwhelmed by the award that they just received. So in the description for this video is a full list of all the winners. I think some winners that I'd like to call out is, of course, like I said, Dune and Encanto both had a bunch of wins. They came in with 6 nominations each. Finch came in for animated character. Apple TV show Foundation, which I really have enjoyed. They came in as a multiple winner on the television side. They got 2 different awards for 2 different episodes. One was for VFX in a photoreal episode. The other one was for effects simulations in a different episode. And then, of course, Loki, Marvel's Loki series came in with Digital Domain getting a compositing award. Everyone who knows me knows that Digital Domain has a special place in my heart, so it was really great to see them win. And the final big winner of the night was for outstanding visual effects in a photoreal feature, Dune, that had Paul Lambert and someone who I'm a little closer to, Brian Connor. Paul wasn't there to receive the award, but I saw Brian get up on stage and took absolute delight in his enjoyment. Brian Connor absolutely earned it. He's been cranking away in visual effects for years and doing absolute great work, and it was wonderful that the Visual Effects Society recognized him and his teammates for the work they did in Dune. So congratulations to Brian, Paul, and the whole Dune team for that big win. And that's it. Check out the description for the rest of the list and just share this video out so other people can get the full list. Thanks everyone. Have a great day.